like
Just have the surgery.
Yeah. So.
Every day. Somebody's there to see.
Alrighty.
Get it in the. But it does.
Okay, we're gonna call the meeting for the Buffalo County Commissioners to order. I'd like to start with the Pledge of Allegiance, please.
Pledge
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I need a motion to approve the agenda.
Well, that's why I was gonna ask if that Brandy gonna be here. She's.
I don't, Rex, I haven't talked to Brandy. I don't
She's on
know.
the agenda, but.
Oh, why don't we, can you plug in on the agenda, the top of the agenda?
The number.
The number. On your agenda, Don.
Oh,
Oh, she has to do that.
Please enter your participant or moderator code.
23456 pound.
Please say your name, followed by the pound key.
Dawn,
And then pound. Yep,
You are
no,
the first participant in the conference.
good. So Randy, I sent her all the stuff, so.
Rex, were you gonna second it? All in favor? Okay, and I need, motion to approve the November 4th and November 13th minutes.
The November, the first one that I was at, it said something about I couldn't do the security stuff, and I just approved. My motion was to look into it. Small deal wordage, but
Security, Jesus.
yeah.
I didn't print it off.
Is that when you guys went into executive session, you talked about cybersecurity, and then we came back in and you approved it?
We approved Wayne looking into,
Looking into it. The only thing I see was the Dakota State, but I don't know if there was any cost to it or what.
you mean for the one at Madison? No, there's no cost.
That's what I'm saying. But I said to look into it, just like you said, for Wayne to look into it.
Yeah, because we got it
I
in
don't know
our,
how it's worded, but it's worded, like I said, to go ahead with it. What it is.
Yes. All right. No,
Okay, it's got request by Auditor Morrison to enter executive session.
Let me see if I can send you a
Yeah, we
link.
came out, it says Loudon made a motion to executive session personnel, seconded by Zastro. Executive
Yes.
session ended at
Buffalo County
2:24.
Channel.
Zastro making a motion to implement county
Yep,
cybersecurity.
Well,
for
otherwise it'll be
Buffalo
recorded.
County. And I said,
Yeah, my-
that would be the
Study.
cyber, that would be the one at Madison, that we
To
got
look
the
into
email
it, Yeah.
to implement.
to implement it, because there's no cost to us for Madison to do it.
You know, just different. Whatever.
Well, do you want the word changed?
Well,
Because we've got the
Yes.
contract today that's gotta be signed.
there you go.
Sure.
Okay.
so you're seconding that, is that correct?
All in favor? Thank you. For public comment?
I have a problem that we are never informed in the paper or anywhere of our real financial situation in this county. There is no treasurer, if you don't come to the meeting, if there happens to be one here, I don't get to see it because I can't always come. I'd like to know the income and the expenses.
The vouchers are all there. Everything that's put in the paper is what is
It's
required.
not even printed in the paper. Last
Yes,
time, there was no printing of any income or expenses.
Bring the treasurer in, that's her job.
And in the provisional budget that was printed, had only income, no expenses. I have it cut out at home. I could have brought it.
I guess I,
And that is a law that we have.
yes,
to be
we
informed.
send it in and it's sent to Deb every month.
Yeah, you get to.
Well, I don't know because she prints all the Lyman's in Buffalo.
Ours is in there too.
Well, it isn't in the paper because I can cut it out, bring it to you and show you. It's not there.
Deb, we did it, and then there was that one issue that, and then we
Yeah,
did it, yeah, so
Yeah.
it was in there twice.
Yes.
So. It's a codified law that Deb and I have to deal with that and put it in the newspaper, so it's in there. And it's in there on how we're supposed to,
Do
so.
we have a bill for her?
Yeah, there's a,
Well, we have it all,
I know, and I'm just,
yeah.
so.
I mean, in our vouchers, there's copies of all of it that's in the paper.
Well, but I have to come down here and look at the vouchers.
no,
No,
we're saying it's in there, that's how we
Oh,
know it's.
but it's not in the paper. That's why I'm telling you. I can cut the bubble and I.
We'll check into it.
out.
We'll
There's
check
one
into
right
it.
there for, you can look in there.
I'm trying to find it.
Yeah, is it in there?
It's in there, yeah. Every month it's in there.
But they're not,
No, it's not.
but
It's
you can't
not
look at
any.
it and see the same thing that you can see on a voucher. Some of them are lumped together, some of them are, it's not,
Individualized.
well, when it's not always clear.
God damn, Deb, this better be in there, right?
I know, well, look first.
I did look.
Well, I have it at home.
Well, this is what we paid, okay, so you bring me yours and we'll compare it, okay? Okay. These are all vouchers.
She wasn't on the agenda.
Well, it was,
Well, it was,
Is
this
it
is
public
dated
comment,
November
isn't it?
4th.
yeah,
Public
but the one
comment sign.
before that, there was nothing in that at all in October.
Is that the one you had to do twice? Because remember there was,
The budget.
That was done a long
That
time
was
ago,
budget?
budget.
Yeah, that was
I
September,
don't
wasn't
know.
And there's a voucher, we pay it.
I hear you. And I'm sure our October budget would have that in there.
Sure.
But you can't tell.
You could read, and you didn't bring.
I didn't bring it up.
Okay.
Anything else?
Yeah, Carol Klein had something on there for public.
I just would like to know, since, I'm not exactly positive, but I'm going to say since July, we have not received the video of the meetings.
The video has not been up and running and working.
And it says technical. Well, what takes 6 months? Now, October, it did come in October, but you had to be a Einstein to dig back and find it, It wasn't right there for people. And I know of several people in the community, elderly people, that watch that, try to, and they've asked me, do you have any idea? And I said, I don't have a clue why it is not. So, I mean, if it doesn't work,
Can you
after
use one?
6 months, I would think you would get it fixed.
It is fixed.
It is? It
will
is?
be.
It didn't, last month, did it? Was it? in
Last
November?
month, it stopped like 20 minutes. It went in 20 minutes, and I don't know if there was an interruption in service or what, but it stopped there.
Okay, but then October supposedly it's there, but I didn't find it. But I know September, August, July, since the reprimanding from Pier, it's like they stopped.
Sometimes they'll show up on top and it says upcoming. And I think it has something to do with the start time. I try to delete the start time, like you want to start it in the future, and I can't shut that off. And I haven't changed anything the way I've done it
Well, there has to be some way to fix it, because like you say, you got people in the
There-
community
yeah.
that want to see what's going on.
That's
We
right.
can pay for a
Because
webmaster.
right now, we're trying to do it ourselves, and
Well,
that's just
I'm
an
just
expense that
saying,
we
you've got
could
the
incur.
meeting, why not let people
Well,
see what
let's-
is going on?
We try.
Will you check to
We
see
do
what it
try.
costs us to put somebody online?
Sure will.
Will do that for us?
Okay. Legislative audit, we don't know if
Oh,
she's,
she's here.
oh,
I was gonna say, she's out there, I've seen her.
okay. Brandy, you're up.
Where would you like to eat? Right there next to you. I had a good Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
How were the roads?
A little messier than I thought it was going to be. Ran into some stuff.
I was coming from here, right?
Here.
Here.
Okay, I gotta go to here. Yeah, I know you've been coming quite a lot. I've seen you over the years, last 25 years, I've seen you quite a lot.
Yeah.
Overall, did we do better?
I think so. There's a few things that I'm going to go over with you.
It's only 3 pages. I'm pleased.
This one usually is.
We'll go over.
First.
That one? That one? Bench, put this one on.
And this is just acknowledging that we performed our audit for the years 2023 and 2024. And it goes over some descriptions of what a deficiency in internal control would be. This is the same wording that we have every year. So we can go on to the next page. Under the heading for deficiencies noted in internal control, which are material weaknesses or significant deficiencies that we included in the schedule of current audit findings, we just have the one. The internal accounting controls over financial reporting for the years 23 and 24 were inadequate, resulting in inaccurate information being presented to users on financial reports. So we have this described further in the current audit comment that you'll see on your final audit report when you get that. This is just acknowledging that we had many formal adjustments that we had to make to all of the financial statements. We didn't have any deficiencies noted in internal control, which did not rise to the level of being material weakness or significant deficiency other than the one. And we have material violations of laws, rules, and regulations. We noted that the total unassigned fund balance of the general fund exceeded the maximum allowed by SDCL 721-18.1 by approximately $230,000 at the end of 2024. So we just want to make sure that you're aware that you need to be assigning or restricting more funds so you don't have such an excess amount of unassigned funds at the end of the year.
Okay, so the 230,000 is above what we're supposed to have in it.
Right, there was a limit there and that was your overage.
Okay, that's,
Immaterial violations, we have that the auditor and treasurer were not properly reconciling the auditor's account with the treasurer at the end of each month. I think everyone was already aware of that.
Yep.
We noted instances in which vouchers that we tested did not have a physical voucher prepared. So you want to make sure that you're having a physical voucher that the board can then sign at your meetings. And the person who created the voucher signs it as well to verify it.
No, should they be here to table or just this printed out sheet?
There's 2 different ways you can do it. You can sign every individual one, or you can do a list, as long as the list is all inclusive on it.
I think we sign each voucher.
Yeah, we
We
sign each
sign each voucher.
voucher.
Yep, there's just ones where they didn't actually have a physical voucher created, or it was no
They
longer
can't
in
hear
the
you
box.
back there, Brandy.
Sorry. I'll try to speak up
We
if I
can't
can.
hear you.
So some of those vouchers that were set aside.
What's that?
I was telling them, okay, if the voucher was set aside, you probably didn't find it.
Yeah, if we
What it
didn't
is.
find it.
We could find a check number, but we couldn't find
Right.
the actual tangible voucher.
Yeah, so either it wasn't created or it was misplaced, but either way, I couldn't test it,
Mhm.
so I couldn't verify that it had signatures. We noted one employee's salary was not published in the minutes. I believe that was for a board member. That was because nope, that's number 4. The employee salary one, that one was just not posted in the minutes. Number 4 was that we tested 2 vouchers that had different amounts. That was because the salaries for the board had different amount than what was paid, just due to, I think was it a miscalculation? When it was published in the minutes at the beginning of the year.
You don't want us to hear, is that the object?
No,
Sit up
it's
here.
not. Sit up here.
I'll sit up
Any
here.
questions you have, when I'm done going, we'll bring them
I'll
up.
bring your chair up here. Well, sit
Sorry,
up
I'm
here,
talking
sit up here.
loud.
That's okay.
It's distracting, it's distracting when you're saying this too. If you wanna hear, come sit up here.
Yeah,
Come sit up here.
Remember to hide.
You can't help it, you can't hear. Does anybody else bring them closer? It's fine.
I can't hear.
We get old, we can't hear either, so it's good.
Yeah.
You want
She's
to
talking-
ask questions?
She has her back to us,
Well,
so
I
it's
hear you.
really hard.
Well, if you get your camera up here, then you can see it up there.
Do you want me to go back to number 1 so you can hear what I was
I would
talking
just
about?
like to know what you saw.
Okay, so the first thing that I wanted to mention was that we had several significant formal adjustments that we had to make to the financial statements. So therefore, we have a comment that'll be on our final audit report that just states that internal accounting controls over financial reporting during 2023 and 2024 were inadequate. So we had inaccurate information reported that we then corrected, and we'll see that in the final audit report, which you can actually go on our website once that's posted, and you can get a copy of that as well. We also noted that the total unassigned fund balance of the general fund exceeded the maximum allowed by law by approximately $230,000. So we just remind the county that you want to make sure you're assigning and restricting more funds in the general fund, so you don't have such an excess unassigned balance.
That's
at the end of the
been
year.
We've never
ongoing
had one.
thing.
Yeah, it's not that uncommon for a county to do that. They just end up spending less than they thought they would, and you just want to make sure you're having more assigned, so you don't end up with that excess at the end.
You mean take it out of general fund and assign it to the highway department?
You can assign it for anything that you need.
You don't have to spend it, you can put it someplace.
Right.
I'm
They
asking.
Well, that's
just
what
need
she's
to
saying.
say, it's basically that you come up with a plan with it, where you'd say, hey, we have another $230,000 that we don't know what we're gonna be using it for. So before the end of the year, assign it to a project of some kind. Or, if you,
So it's somewhere.
well, so you have a legitimate plan.
Used to hide it.
Well, don't hide it.
Good days.
And then we noted that the auditor and treasurer were not properly reconciling the auditor's account with the treasurer that they publish in the minutes for every meeting every month.
That's been going
It's
on
been
for a
going on
long
since the
time.
beginning.
Yeah, so you just want to make sure that they're getting together and they're saying, hey, our numbers match, and then we get that published in the minutes.
What kind of process do we have for that end of every month?
Janice and I would have to speak together because her report and my report have to match. They're supposed to match whatsoever, which it has.
Mhm.
That one year it was perfect. It was the year before. And sometimes there's a sheet that has to be put in there that says the auditor, treasurer, sign off on it. And so I think that some of those weren't there as well, so.
Right, and remember, I was looking back at 2023 as well, so. it's been a
So
couple-
2024, there wasn't an issue
There isn't
whatsoever.
any sign off from Janice yet, so.
Janice?
What?
We're gonna have to come up with this deficiency here. We need to at least work together, and try to get those budgets balance out every month.
Sign every month.
That wouldn't be hard.
But we have been.
I was gonna say,
We
I thought
have
we
been.
have been.
For
You've
the
been
last year,
matching,
there has not been a
but
problem.
you just haven't signed off on them. You gotta sign off on them.
Yeah, but please remember, this is
I'll
2
show
years
you
ago
the sheet
too.
what they're talking
This
about.
is 2 years ago.
Right.
Okay. The next one we had for an immaterial violation of laws, rules, and regulations was that when I come to the audit here, I do a sampling of vouchers and receipts. The vouchers that I had randomly pulled, I noted that there were a few of them where I couldn't find the physical copy. So either it wasn't created or it was misplaced at some point. And in doing so, there's no signatures on there from the person who prepared the voucher or a signature from the board. I mean, I can see in the minutes where they've been approved and they're included in there, but I just need to verify a signature on those as well. So we just want to make sure that every voucher is getting printed and signed. And then I noted one employee's salary was not published in the minutes at the beginning of the year. There should be all salaries published, and then if someone's hired later, it just gets put in that month's minutes, saying, hey, we hired so-and-so for this salary amount. And then 2 tested vouchers were published in the minutes with different amounts. That's just saying that the voucher says it was $1,000, but the minutes say $999 or whatever. You just want to make sure you're publishing the accurate information in the minutes. Okay. So on the last page on that one, I noted 1 tested voucher missing a board member signature, so that was related to the other one. Noted 1 material instance of expenditures made in excess of appropriations. My letter says 2021, that's actually 2023. I forgot to correct that number, I apologize for that. So what that means is the county has a budget amount for how much they can spend in a certain account. But then a voucher was written that went over that total amount for the year. And if something like that is anticipated, the county can then do like a contingency transfer, or if they receive money unexpectedly, they can do a budget supplement just to make sure that budget doesn't go over. In this case, it went over.
Now, in the highway department, it's got these categories. You got the highway department at 146, but then like in professional services, it was way over what was budgeted.
Okay.
Somebody said, I'll just leave them go to the end of the year and supplement them, or should I do it?
You can do it toward the end of the year. Many counties do. They'll do it like November, December. They'll figure out, hey, we're gonna go over by, $3,000, so they'll do it, transfer that amount, contingency transfer.
The reason we've decided to do it till the end of the year is because we have no idea how much the highway department is going to spend. So it's easier to do it at the end of the year so that we don't have to do it 2 or 3 times to do a contingency.
As long as it's done before year closing,
Thank you.
then you're
Could we
good.
get a report every month showing how much it is over budget, so.
Well, I
the
believe she
superintendent,
already
you know.
prints a monthly budget report, budget expenditure, I think it's called. So you can actually monitor on there what your current budget amount, and then I think there's a original and a final budget amount. So
Yeah,
it'll show
Wes
how much you've
has
added
his.
already.
Huh?
Wes has his.
I don't.
So you can review that. Every
It's
month.
like on my professional services, I'm always over like a lot.
But the line items inside a category, okay, so if we go over a line item in a category, but we don't go over that category amount total, we still have to supplement, or just change
There's
the
a couple
categories.
different levels to your coding and what your accounts are. So you've got your basic fund, which road and bridge would be 201. Then your next expenditure would be the roads and bridges, which is 311, I believe. That last category with like a 426 point whatever, that one I'm not looking at. I'm looking at the main account line. So when you're looking at your financial statement, that line for 311 for highways, roads, and bridges, that's what I want to see if it's gone over budget or not.
I think some what they're talking about is like the big bill, or the big, whatever that was called, what is that thing called? Big grant?
The big
We
grant.
got 2,
So-
we have FEMA one. and
Right, the reason I mentioned that is because you both mentioned professional services. I think that might be like a subcategory
It is.
within the account.
Yep.
So as long as the rest of 311, highway, road, and bridges account is gonna cover it, then you should be okay. So when you start getting down to that breakdown within that account, that's not so bad.
So you get the report every month of where you're at.
Off and on.
It's like
Anybody, you can come look at it anytime you want.
Road and bridge went from $1 million to $1,600,000.
What I can understand.
And the papers I got doesn't show me where it's coming from and the expenses, I get all the stuff, but what I get, I don't know if this professional services is way out of whack, but there's no rules as far as.
All that stuff in there that's where it would go, is the professional services for the construction and the engineering. My question only would be is where the money that's gonna cover it, is it already on my 201 output?
It should be.
Okay.
And that's what you and me, and we were gonna have that
Yeah.
together, so with somebody else, Sylvia, so that we could make sure we have all of our ducks in a row before this year's end audit.
Yeah, and then you mentioned that you don't know where it'd be
Yeah, I
coming from,
don't
so
get no paperwork.
anything that gets receipted into Fund 201 for road and bridge, that's all going to be in your budget for your road and bridge
So like
expenditures.
all the grant money and stuff should go into the 201 when it comes in.
Yeah, so I think you only have two main road and bridge
Correct.
expenditure accounts, your 311, which is pretty much everything. Any debt expense that you might have is gonna be lower down on the report.
Correct.
So it's really just two main categories.
And to break that down further, Rex, so what happens is Janice gets the money. Then Janice gets me the receipts, I break them all down so that we know exactly where it goes. And then Janice has to make sure that number and my number are right, right? Is that how you'd say it's right?
Yeah.
And so that's all the receipts, so Janice and I have to look at the receipts to begin with,
And then you'll have a fund balance.
right?
You can compare that to,
So then it comes into my side and Janice's
Maybe I
side.
was looking
So like
for
that,
it went from $1 million
as
to
a
$1.6 million.
1031.
that comes
Correct.
from, you know.
And so you're looking at, so when they're talking fund cash balance,
But
it's
as
right
long
there.
as that 201
And then
has got
This
its
is all the money that.
balance, you
Find
can
out.
pay for this, what, $700,000 worth of dirt work and not worry about it.
yeah, as long as you have
As
enough
long as
balance
that-
to cover it.
So you have
as long
that
as
sheet, right?
201.
Everybody has that sheet. It's anybody in there,
So
it's
no, yeah, that shows
posted out there every day, every month.
1.6 in the 201. So that would be all the grants and whatnot.
No, yeah, our FEMA money and everything.
I got the Bradford people said they need to talk about this stuff. I thought he said you're supposed to do it every month, but maybe he's talking the week.
Yeah, just kind of review it, make sure
See,
you have
right
enough
here,
balance for expected
201.
expenditures.
I'd
but
say
how
that's
did it
someplace
get
like
there?
Sioux Falls. should
That's,
probably do
that's
it.
the money coming in
More
They-
on our grants and our
Yeah,
FEMA
that's
money.
more like weekly.
Yeah, but there should be
probably, yeah.
something over here, they're saying it came from FEMA or came from.
Generally, when you get something that comes in for road and bridge, you end up supplementing your budget with it anyway, because you don't get a whole lot from that, other than like your
Correct.
contract services and stuff like that.
That's when you, me and Sylvia will sit down. Just so and make sure all the line items are correct.
Okay. And then we had, I noticed that the state highway funds, the prorate and motor fuel tax were not properly apportioned and distributed in 23 and 24. So when we have these flow in from the state or federal money, they get apportioned out to certain individuals like any townships or towns or schools, fire departments, things like that. So you just want to make sure that they're using the proper numbers to calculate those apportionments and get them sent to the proper entities. And then any other less significant items that we noticed throughout the course of the audit, we discussed with management as we went along, so it didn't be included in the letter. Just want to make sure the significant material stuff was noted for you guys. So we have our next letter, number 2, page 1. As part of performing the audit of the financial statements of Buffalo County as of December 31st, 2024, as well as 2023, we have identified the following matters that we feel are required to be communicated to those charged with governance. We'll go to the next page. So we noted no significant difficulties in dealing with management, performing and completing our audit. Every time I asked for documentation of things, everyone did their best to get me what I needed. Anything that wasn't found, like I said, was already noted in the prior letter that we read. For the purposes of this letter, professional standards define a disagreement with management as a financial accounting, reporting, or auditing matter, which we didn't have any significant disagreements. Professional standards require us to accumulate all known and likely misstatements identified during the audit, other than those that are trivial, and communicate them with the appropriate level of management. There were no material unposted audit adjustments for the audit period ended 2024. We have requested certain representations from management that are included in the management representation letters dated today. I brought this letter with me, so it's basically from you as the county. And there's a list of bullet points here, just saying that, you have given me all the information to your knowledge that is accurate. You're not withholding any information from me. You're not aware of any evidence of fraud or misstatements, that we haven't already discussed. And you can read through that too and sign it after the meeting if you prefer. But I want to make sure I give you that. In some cases, management may decide to consult with other accountants about auditing and accounting matters, similar to obtaining a second opinion. If you do consult with another auditor, they just need to contact us to make sure that they have all the relevant information, and to our knowledge, we haven't had any requests for that. Professional standards require us to communicate with management those items listed in our opinion letters as emphasis of matter. This includes such item as the basis of accounting of which the financial statements were prepared, implementing government accounting standards of the first year of implementation, and correction of material prior period adjustments. We didn't have any prior period adjustments on your statements that we put in our final audit report. There were no other findings or issues noted during the audit. So I just need that signed when you're ready, that letter there that I gave you.
It's over there.
Yeah.
Okay.
One more thing. You know, you go by this, got 1.6 million, and we had budgeted 50,000 purchase equipment or professional service and professional service. But like, there's probably a line for buying trucks and stuff. Can he just say, well, I got 1.6 million in my top line here, I'm going to buy a new truck?
No.
Yeah.
No.
We
We
haven't
have,
got
no.
that.
We have, I think we have, what, 100,000 is what we said?
We gotta
It
pay
has
for
to be
what
a
we
bid
got that
fund.
money for.
There has
Maybe
to
it
be.
comes maybe it comes under bid, but we don't have no 1.6 to bid for a truck or something.
You guys would have to approve that as a board. And then if
Well,
it's over, I think it's $100,000 right now, then you do have to do the bidding process.
Okay, but I mean, like saying, when you're one line of that deal, way over. And I know, hey, let me just,
Randy.
but if he can run that line, can he run another line?
When you talk about the 211,
You
Or
got
311?
201, I don't know, I took a picture or something.
yeah, that might help me. While you're looking that up, I just have a survey to leave with you guys too. You can fill this out if you want, it's optional. And then there's a stamped envelope, so you can return that to me, or not to me, it goes to our office in here.
422 is professional services and repairs and maintenance.
201-311-422.
And then, see, that's the one that's quite a ways over, right?
Professional services.
Yeah.
She's saying it's over budget.
Yeah. So that's okay.
As long as all of 311, the account that it falls under, as long as that has enough balance in the budget.
Which it does not, so that's the reason we will have a meeting in the middle of this month to do a contingency or a
Transfer.
Or
transfer.
fund transfer or something. Make
That's
sure
what
you're
I've been saying for a couple of months.
That's why
That's
I
why
keep
we're
telling you,
waiting
Rex,
until
we only
December.
do it at the end of the year.
And
So that
Okay.
we know exactly
I mean,
how
isn't
much
the
it
law
would be.
for like to keep, you know, kind of under control. So if he goes out, well, I want this here road grader's broke down.
He needs to get
Can't
our
get it
permission,
fixed.
he needs to get our permission to do it if it goes over a certain dollar amount. That's training 101, right?
that'd be the county's policy.
What dollar amount was that?
It's whatever you set it at. Is it 5,000?
We started out at the beginning of the year, I'd have to look it
Yeah,
up,
Where we
think
set the, where we set the limit at for this professional services at, it's budgeted 50,000. So that,
Right, but,
and I can't recall we okayed.
but those professional services that are in there is what IMAG and all these did
Correct, I know, it's
for our
legit, it's
grants.
legit, yeah.
that we got.
Yeah.
But we've got grant money sitting there to pay for it at the end of the
Let's look at
year.
the top of 201.
What's that?
The grant money's all up in 201.
201 is your fund. So that's kind of like your umbrella for your road and bridge.
Not like the grant money, the check comes in and that goes directly to 201.
So,
That would be where it gets receipted to, if it's a road.
so
and
we
bridge
just got
business.
that bridge. You just built a bridge or whatever.
Fixed
We
it
had to
now.
pay for those people.
Mhm.
So IMEG is our professional services people. But those type of, we can take out of a different budget item. But your professional services, we have to keep in that
Well, I
one.
think even the contractors fall under professional services.
Yeah,
Like everything we put in there for right now. So,
And virtually everything in that fund ends up coming out of the account 311. Roads, bridges.
But the thing is getting at, when the FEMA money or a grant comes in, that should immediately be received into 201 if that's the
Goes into that
department
fund,
it goes to, right?
Yep.
So on the top line, the top line should be higher than obviously your bottom line.
Yeah, you want your revenues to be higher than your expenditures unless you started the year with a very large balance as is. Sometimes your expenditures might be more. But that's where your budget comes in. I think he's still looking for a.
So we need to make a motion to approve your budget then? Accept your budget. Do you need a motion?
Your audit?
Give me my audit.
yeah.
I'll say I didn't have a budget for you.
Yeah.
That's not what I do. I don't think you need to have a motion. You're just gonna get
So then you can just sign.
the final audit report in the mail. It's gonna come. I'm gonna
Well,
actually
sometimes-
message Russ after this.
I know sometimes we
Yeah.
have to have motions to accept.
Do you have any other questions about the budgeting or you think you understand it now or?
I went to Ron's class. Like when you're over budget, let's see, there's 50,000. And I can't recall, we approved him, and but I can't remember approving to go out and spending more than that. Like, okay, you can spend another 50,000 for the engineers or do you need to?
Well, if I understand what you're saying, a lot of the smaller items that occur for expenditures in that account
Yeah.
were probably under your required threshold for approval, but it adds up real fast. And suddenly you can end up being over budget.
To be able to get those grants, we have to have that work done.
I realize that.
But we
But do
never
we have
don't
a-
bid it.
Do we have a set limit of what we can do without the prior approval?
And I don't believe
Because
so.
you said for road grader, you got 100,000 or something.
We approved IMEG to be our engineering company. So that pretty much
It's
said that what IMEG does to get these grants is,
Professional services.
yeah,
The only thing I can think of for 50,000, remember we did gravel. We bought that gravel from.
yeah. We bought that gravel from Freeves, that was
That was
80,000.
10,000 tons.
And that was something that kind of fell in our lap, but other than that,
And we
fire
had-
truck,
We had
truck,
to,
that's
Oh,
the
yeah.
other thing that we didn't, and that was no 50,000.
Well, that was out of the weed budget. That was not.
that came out of the weed, yeah.
So
That never
was
came
like-
out of our regular budget, that came out of the weeds.
So that kind of came out of the blue too, that was a good thing. But I don't know anything about 50,000, the only thing I can remember is that
Yeah.
kind of
Well,
dropped.
that was what was budgeted. We budgeted
Yeah, I know, but we
50,000.
didn't budget for that gravel, remember? They came in and we acted on it the same day, didn't we?
Yeah,
Close.
because our 2025 budget started January 1st, and that 80,000 wasn't in the budget,
Approved that.
and we approved that. So,
We approved that.
Okay.
okay,
Did you have any other questions for me regarding the stuff we went over or anything else?
thank you.
Okay. Did
For
any of you have
2
any
years.
questions or?
No, now that we can hear you.
Okay. Everybody back there good? All right. I'm gonna stick around for a little bit and get some stuff scanned in, so if anyone has any questions for me that they just don't think of right now, you can visit me out in the hallway or
Is that office still open?
Yeah.
That,
Yeah.
your office is in there if you wanna go in there.
Yeah, so.
Thank you, Brandy. Nothing's changed since you've been here.
All right,
So have that.
thanks for having me.
Yes, thank you. Dan? Oh, there you go.
I'm with you, I have hearing aids, so I'm right there with you. Well, good afternoon, for those that don't know me, my name is Dan Johnson, I'm with Risky Benefits out of Sioux Falls, we take care of the employee benefits for Buffalo County. And so today, just gonna go through it quick, a little bit, and then they can approve the benefits for the year. Should do that once a year, so everybody knows what they have. And we did open enrollment a little earlier this morning with the employees. Healthcare coverage for the employees is with Wellmark, it's a $5,000 plan. We're merging it down to a 25. The MERP means medical expense reimbursement plan. We've been doing this now, this will be the third year for this, and we're saving the county some money. When the end of October, we were about
25,000.
25,000 ahead on the medical with that, so savings there. So we'll get that updated here at the end of the month. Dental insurance, employees just switched over, starting the first of the year from Beam to Delta Dental. They'll have that first of the year. Better benefits there, richer benefits for the employee from $1,000 annual max to a $1,500 annual max for the employees. Vision is VSP stays the same. They have the MASA, medical air transport. So if an employee or their family, if they signed up, gets into an accident or something happens to them, they need to go to a hospital, they need to go from ground to here to Chamberlain, for example, here to Mitchell. Mitchell said we need to fly you somewhere. What Wellmark's not gonna pay, you have to remember about 95% of the ambulances across the United States are out of network. So what they won't, what you get your out-of-pocket max, what Wellmark won't pay, Mass is gonna pick up. Prime example, I know a gal I work with, she's from Martin, South Dakota. Her mom had a heart attack, had to go from Martin, South Dakota to Rapid City. Wellmark paid $4,000 of that bill. She got stuck with a $60,000 bill from that helicopter ride. If you know anybody who's gone in the ambulance, gone to a lot of places that had to go in a helicopter, it is not cheap. Excuse my terminology, I'm an old farm kid, but that's, it's pretty tight. So that's what Wellmark, and that's, I'm not picking on Wellmark, but that's the other insurance companies who pay right about that. So Mass will pick that up. That gal there had to go back and forth, and she ended up cutting it back down, I think, to about half, 30,000 she had to come up with to pay it, her mom. So that's another benefit for there. And then the life insurance, the employees have a $25,000 life insurance with AD&D, accidental death and dismemberment. If you don't know what AD&D is, so if you're involved in an auto accident, you die on a falling off a bridge, any type of an accident, it's gonna pay double. So instead of that 25 now, it's gonna pay 50. So, and if you end up in the hospital and your car accident, you end up dying 300 days later, they're gonna pay it because it has to be within 365 days a year. So
Lloyd's on the
that's a very, very good benefit for the employees. So, and that's not including workman's comp if they're killed on the job. This is 24/7. So if they're out snowmobiling on a Saturday afternoon, any employees, something happens, and they end up getting killed, that's an accident. So, but we do this open enrollment. It's from the 1st through the 15th. Employees have a chance to add, drop, modify their plans and all for these first 15 days, and everything goes into effect on the 1st of the year. So, questions? And I have to say, maybe you guys don't know this, but we work with 46 of the 66 counties in South Dakota. And we have a couple auditors that are they dot their I's, cross their T's, and Deb's one of them. I just want to tell everybody, she does a great job. I don't know if you guys know that, but from our end, that we see, Johnny on the spot, okay? So, questions? Now, your state's attorney may Rosette's back there. And I've had him before, I had him last week, don't hold it against me, I know him. So, have those, make sure you have those, they're good.
I don't remember, do they need to, we did that last time, you guys signed off on.
We signed off on
All of
Misty
it?
But they
last.
could, just to
Should we do a
verify.
mass one
They
just
could
to
just
make
do, they
sure?
approve all the benefits that were, employee benefits that were submitted today.
Okay, I need a motion to accept the Risty benefits as he explained to us today.
Yeah, I'll move.
Danita,
Is that what you guys want? I know I don't have it. I'll second.
all in favor? Thank you, Dan.
Thanks, Dan.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dan.
Okay, Dalton Mark, access to some rented ground.
Well, bear with me, I'm not great at public speaking. Do I show you guys the map?
You can.
Okay. And it's
Wes, I want Wes in on this also.
Are you two familiar with Wes and Dalton? You
Yeah.
guys know, okay.
I think him and my dad hold some cows together. There's a piece of farm ground that I was initially renting from the tribe if I can get access to it. But then since I got on the agenda for that, I also I'm looking at buying 230 acres of ground from John Forrester back to the south of the mouth of Crow Creek. Well, there's no access to any of it, but there's a section line road that would come into the ground that I'm buying. And then there's a section line road that would come in onto the rented ground too. And I'd have to build, there's already a trail going to the farm ground that I want to rent, but I need to build a draw crossing and see if we could open that section line up so a guy could get in there and do something with that farm ground. And this would all be down by Betty Kimdop's place, south of Crow Creek.
The line, the initial access is right on the county line, correct?
Yeah, to go to the, yeah, I'll show you. There's,
East. So how close to the game fishing parks are you down there?
I would be bordering it.
Because I know we tried to get access before.
And, yeah, I drew a pen there. I wish I had a highlighter so you guys could see it.
Here,
And I'm,
go.
oh, no,
Oh, sorry.
thank you. Here you go. Yeah, I like that, so it's a little easier to see. Well, that ain't looking much better either.
Oh, yeah, Steve, you need to look at this also.
And this one here, Doug Philbrick owns that 15 acres, and he said he's fine with the trail going there, as long as I move the fence. And then this here would be part of Betty's ground, but that's coming up for sale this spring to get to this 90 acres of farmland. But I just have to build a draw crossing in there and move a fence over. And I'd handle all the road building, fence building, everything, same as on this section line road too. Cause I might be insane for this, but I plan on putting my house right there.
What's this road like right now? It's just
There ain't nothing there. I'm gonna have to cut a road through river breaks.
Just a section line road, but just nothing.
There ain't even a trail there.
Can I see your map?
Wes,
This is tribal land over here.
talk to us.
This is all tribal.
My question is, what are you wanting the county to do? Just give you the go-ahead to go build your own
Well,
trail?
that's, from what I've talked to everybody, I need the counties to go ahead because the section line falls under your guys' jurisdiction.
They're not close.
And I don't believe they've ever been closed or vacated.
So I don't know. I know in the past, the policy is the county doesn't improve section lines or nothing like that, but can we stop them from improving it themselves?
Yeah. You know, the county's not doing anything, and what always has to be understood is we're not gonna do
Right.
anything either. We're not gonna maintain, we're not gonna snow remove, we're not gonna mow, we're not gonna do anything. It is what it is.
If we.
But in general, like, two fields that match together on a section line, they can do whatever they want in there. They can't close it. They can't, like, if he improves it, he makes a road out there. You can't say nobody else can travel this because I did it. It's still section line, still public.
Well, that's fine with me, and I've actually talked to Mark Wells on the tribal council also, and it sounded like he wanted to talk to me after I talked to you guys here today. And then,
We haven't gotten from the land committee, Mark Wells is one of 6.
well, I was gonna talk to you guys here and then let him know, and then I was gonna go up there because I wanna do it right with everybody.
Then you need to go see, Wilmer Thompson.
On
He's-
Thompson.
he's-
The section
he's
line on
the-
the reservation or not.
And he can get you on the agenda.
I got
No offense to Mark, but you're going wrong.
The section
Well, I
line
gotta
is a
talk
section line,
because
but not the reservation.
Norm's aware of this too.
Yeah.
Because I've
Have a bed, 16 or 30.
Because Norm helped me figure out, I have all this ground here leased now. I'm buying that piece, I lease the rest of this, and then I have all of Doug Philbrook's ground leased. What's that?
It must have been Mr. Phillips' office. My mom and dad had land farther down the river, down by the,
Oh, really?
by the game fishing parks. Good luck, those guys are our guys.
I leased a bunch of ground from the Game and Fish too, west of the river. And I worked really closely with Bill and Adam, and they've been fairly good to work with. They haven't given me any problems yet.
That's not fantastic.
Yeah, you were one place, I was just trying.
What's your name?
No.
Dalton?
Dalton,
What's your
Mark.
last name?
Mark.
Yeah, right here.
Okay.
Oh, I knew that. Okay. This is Evelyn.
Well, if you're gonna do it, when you visited with me, I thought you wanted us to.
No, I need to get the county's blessing and, tribal council blessing and make sure it's okay with everybody, and I'll take care of everything and stay out of everyone's hair.
They need to sign off on it.
I just wanna make sure I got.
Do we have to do anything, Steve? We don't have to make a motion or nothing?
I don't think you're doing anything.
Okay,
You're not fixing the road, you're not.
okay,
Essentially be building the road and putting some fence lines in.
okay.
Now, would you be liable for anything since it's
No.
making this road, or if somebody crashes?
Are we, we're not, is he? Yeah. You're liable for your own land always.
I think it comes down to basically you and the other landowners agreeing on fence lines and where it's gonna, where it's at.
Whatever you're doing, yeah.
Should be no problem.
It's better than being shot down.
Well, still haven't gotten from the land committee yet, so.
Yep, that's my plan after this.
Nice.
So,
Okay, thank you.
awesome, I appreciate it. Hopefully I make it work out for everybody. Be a pretty cool place to have a house, a little set of crowds.
Thanks, Alvin.
Thank you.
911.
That's Danita.
That's me.
Yep.
And I did talk to Jason this morning.
Okay, well, so I talked to Tommy and Sheriff Wellman. You and Jason and Drea from Winter. And I can't remember who else he told me. Tommy was at
Wes.
the hotel.
Wes, there was
On
Wes,
November
Wayne.
19th. Can you give us an update of what it was? I know they were asking for radio and IDs, and I think Tommy got that in.
Yeah, that mean,
Go ahead.
it was just for people that were gonna be actually communicating on the radios to get familiar with one another and kind of an update what they were, where the stage they were at, but more or less how we were gonna use the radios going forward in this case. Just an initial, get to know who, because they don't know who
And that's,
we
and
are.
that's what they wanted. That was what Tommy had told me. That was what I relayed to
Priscilla
you.
Priscilla was there, and so she got to understand what they offered and how it'll help in their dispatch center. Because they'll actually be able to, from my understanding, show them on a screen in the dispatch
Mhm.
center in Fort Thompson, the same thing they're seeing in Winter. So she's like, glad, I mean, it was helpful there, but it was more of a get to know who everyone is and how it's gonna work.
And then they pushed back the start date to possibly March.
I think
That's what Jason told me this morning. I visited with Jason at length this morning.
there's gonna be two contracts. The one is gonna be, it's gonna cost us $1.92. It's a little bit higher than what we bring in. However, we've got 100 or however much, 60, 70,000 in that account. So I mean, we won't even be able to see the end of that for what it's charging. The other thing he is working on that he told me this morning is the part of the tribe that's in Hand and Hughes County. He is working to put that it'll be all in our district so that we'll get that money also, and then we'll be serving those people also for the 911. There'll be that contract, and we got that dummy contract when we met with them back. And then there's gonna be another one, because any fees we gotta pay for 911 services can come out of our E911 fund. But there is another one, and he used Wayne as an example. Like if you call in for something that's not 911, and he really didn't give me an example, but he said he'll see it more from the sheriff, that we'll have to pay that out of the general fund. And he said that generally does not amount to a lot of money, but there'll be two different contracts for that.
This is with Jason.
Yep, with Jason. He's gonna do all of that. He's gonna start working with Amanda at Winter to get the contract to us. Plan on being up and running by March.
By that time, all the equipment should be installed
Yeah,
and everything
yeah.
updated.
Everything will be updated. Doesn't sound like there's gonna be any out of pocket for updates from us. Jason, it sounds like it's gonna get most of that covered.
The 911 fund can't go to equipment,
It's very restricted.
Right,
It's
yeah.
restricted.
Mhm.
so he's gonna work on taking that on his side.
Yep, and we did get, and Wes can but the bar that the fire department uses, if they don't get everything up, they can still use it to March, if they would have to, but it's not backed by the company.
Right, the service, I mean, their servicing of it will go away, so if there's an issue. Midstate said they'll work as
Work
much
with
as
you,
they can, but they can get it down to where at least 3 people get the phone call. Might
Right.
not be all of us, but 3 firefighters will hopefully get the call.
but you guys are right in the middle
Hang
of
on to that
getting,
equipment, guys, hang on to that equipment.
So in the middle, the 15th of this month, we'll get our IM responding. It's getting activated. That's a deal we'll all have on our phones. So if there's an incident called in, hopefully if it goes to Ford or if it goes to Winter, that'll go up to all of us. So we'll have that to be kind of a backup until it's running full force.
so that's where we are on the E911. So,
Dawn, we didn't visit about that second contract
Mhm.
at that meeting. Nothing was said about
right.
my calls in.
Well, it's gonna be like, if it's not to dispatch a fire or a wreck or something, it's like, if you've gotta go,
If I'm calling in on a traffic stop,
yeah, something like that.
so if there's a dollar amount to that, I want to know about it, how much it is. I mean,
Okay.
Because we talked about that of whether I will, when I'm making a traffic stop, will I be calling Winter or will I still do like I have in the past, call Fort Thompson, have them run it, or state radio?
Okay,
See, so
okay.
that's gonna be a very big expense.
Yeah, and he didn't sound like it this morning when we were visiting. So. Okay,
Steve, excuse me, sir, but along the same lines, 911. I got a call from,
Hey, Steve,
Yeah,
oh, yeah,
Danita's asking a question from you.
what do you got?
I got a call this morning from, I remember what her name is, Trudy P's,
Rank.
rank now.
Peter, okay.
Okay, And her question was, Sanford has been sending them bills and saying there's arrearages. And she wanted to know what the county was responsible for paying for. And I said, well, give me an example. So she said, let's say somebody got run over, or accident over there by C-Star. So I said, native or non-native? Okay, so she says, and then the next question is, stopped by who? Was it the sheriff asking for an alcohol test, or was it the federal officer asking for the test? So anyway, apparently there's some outstanding arrearages or something out there that, and so what I did ask her, I said to send you a copy of that. Okay, so that we can sit down with them.
We've had arguments with them many times because a lot of, they're not our requests.
Yeah.
First off, they're not our requests for testing, and then they've been doing testing in assaults that was not requested, and it's kind of like, well, you guys just generate bills. I mean, we're not requested, the client, the injured person not requesting it. And
She was gonna send.
we have a bunch of bills.
Okay, and then.
And David said to him, we had an argument about it, and David said, well, you want to sue us? I mean, we'll
I hear what
court
you're
argue about it.
I hear what you're saying. But,
So-
I did ask
But I don't know
her
that you
to send it
specifically
out
want
to
to.
her. I asked her.
So it's probably in one of those that we have
Right.
here.
Yeah.
And so we have about just shy of $16,000. And
And
so
then
when- when it comes to me, I ask them to send me, do they have tribal ID or,
Right.
so I've asked them, they haven't responded.
That I can send that to. That
For
was-
blood alcohol, yeah.
Because at one point, IHS used to be able to do that, but we can't anymore. Remember, even for our suicides that go to Sanford. And I guess that's along the same lines that we've been talking about for this next part that we're gonna get into.
See, and it says, the affidavit stating the county of arrest was Buffalo with Crow Creek being the law enforcement agency.
So
And they're sending us the bill.
So to me, that's federal, that's
Federal,
not yours.
not us.
Yeah.
But sometimes,
But that's why we get the notices every month,
right,
because
right.
they need to cover their ass.
So that's a perfect example of what we're talking about. It comes out of Buffalo County, but it's not us.
Yeah.
Not us.
So
It'd
expect
be like,
email.
happens all the time.
But it's two different, Sanford bill versus just a hospitalization, that's two different things.
Right. We do have some that are, some of the bills we looked at were hospital bills in which the person paid part of the bill, and then their insurance probably did. And then what's left, we'll call it the deductibles left, they didn't pay the deductible, then they're sending it to the county. It's like, yeah, that's not how this game goes. They have to pay their own deductible, and if they don't pay their own deductible, it can come to us, and then we have to send them all the paperwork to say, are you actually indigent? That's never happened. We have those too. But there's, a great number of different situations.
And then I can also go to the welfare, I go on the welfare, so I can go there and ask for some additional funding, or there's funding out there. We just haven't,
Got to that point.
yeah, we're not there yet.
Well, you shouldn't have to get to that point if they're from the west side of the county.
Sometimes, yeah, it's kind of hard because,
Well,
if you
because,
see like the one that Steve has in there, it doesn't really tell you. Let's say it's Jane Doe. I can't tell who Jane Doe is. Is it that side? Is it federal or is it counties? There's no way. So they call me and they'll be like, you need to pay this bill. And I'll be like, you need to send me all the information.
we review
and-
it. That's why we review it.
Right, and so that I can get it to you guys, and they don't send additional information. They
Yeah,
just
there-
have demand notices.
A typical notice, it has a name, and some names are more easier to believe that they're west. Addresses sometimes, and again, sometimes addresses are west, sometimes they're not. And then often on the hospitalization, it actually literally says at the bottom that they're a veteran, which means veteran is due pay, or that they're eligible for Indian health benefits. And we still get these though. Now this one right here says they are eligible for Indian health benefits. I still get it. We still get it. Doesn't mean we ever pay it.
Because that's their requirement.
Their requirement is they have to
For us to
send it
be
to us.
payers last resort.
And we have to file it, so it's
We have to keep
filed
it.
here, right?
Then there's a couple other steps going on, but
But the other one that we're talking about, usually it's an emergency room. So
Yeah.
somebody goes into an emergency room, they don't have any identification with them, you're still required to get care at an emergency room, if I'm understanding it right.
Yeah.
And so,
Stabilization.
correct,
They-
and so then
Hospital
we still get the bills,
Oh,
but
yeah.
we don't have any verification of
we
who,
have-
where, why, what.
Yeah.
So,
They got real poor information, for whatever reason. Maybe they came in, got treated, left before they could get the rest of it. I don't know, but we get some of
I did ask Sanford to come and meet with the 3 of you, 4 of you, and
them.
they didn't want
Come on.
to.
No.
So,
Anyway, we have lots of situations, different ones.
Okay,
Thanks.
mental health board discussion, Danita.
That's another one. Along the same line, Steve. There you
Yep.
are.
I'm describing this.
Okay, so I got a request that, I'm not gonna make no requests until January.
Right.
For January, we come up with our new mental health board. According to the terms here, it consists of a chair and 2 other persons appointed by the Board of County Commissioners for a 3-year term. The 2 members appointed by the county commission shall be residents of the county. The chair appointed doesn't have to be, but may not serve more than 2 consecutive 3 terms. And people that have been on that board, been on there since I got on in 25 or 2000. So, when we like to do some kind of seeking of individuals for this mental health board. And we've been working, the chairman has gone, we have met with you guys on a lot of this stuff too. Our suicide, we probably bury 2 people every damn week since March, okay? A lot of them have been suicide, some of them have been drugs, I understand that too. We're not the best location for this stuff, but we need to work together so we can get these individuals some assistance. Sitting in jail does not get them off of any kind of addiction.
No.
So we have sat down and talked with Sanford. I don't know if that was you that was there, or maybe it was Deech, when Sanford came up and we talked about that kind of stuff. We need to come up with some kind of working group here so that we can work together to get this done. So I guess I'm asking for some suggestions for the mental health board coming up in January. And I do know Chairman, he's very interested in being on that committee too. So if we could get some kind of working group together so we can come up with prevention instead of after facts all the time.
Mhm.
You know, and that kind of runs along the same other one with the opioid monies that we never applied for. You know, we lost out on a bunch of grant money because we don't take advantage of this stuff. But right now, I think there's like 23 million left in the state of South Dakota. I think they spent 11 million of it already, which went out to counties, and they're going out for grants. And I'd like for us to put in for a grant to do some prevention so that we don't have to pay for these guys to be going to treatment someplace, you know. I think there's a lot of prevention efforts. So I do want to talk to you about using District 3 to go after some of those opioid monies. And I think we're very realistic we can do that. And also the mental health board task force that I'd like to set up with the tribe so that we can plow ahead.
Mhm.
So that's kind of what I got in a nutshell there.
Does the tribe have anything set up? I mean, it's mostly.
We've already got opioid money. I'm talking about the county. We're dual citizens too, you know? So.
We can, I mean, a grant for opioid money is free money. I mean, it's,
And we could have had this 2 years ago.
no, it was longer, it was before I was on.
well, Dave and Steve came to a meeting and talked about opioid money. You guys discussed it. I don't remember the outcome, but
We never got anything.
Well, the problem is we neither have a treatment facility nor a plan or something that says how we use the money. How do we use it and how do we do that? But doesn't mean we can't try to come up with
That's
one.
what I'm saying, some prevention stuff. And yes, tribe got opioid money and we've got a treatment facility. You know, right now Betty Ford is working with us to try to get it operational. So tribe's doing their part, we need to do our part too.
Well, how do we know it's not gonna affect one of our kids?
Well, and it's just it, why is it always we and you? Why
It's
can't
not,
it be
One's
we?
one's federal,
Well, you live over there, you would know.
and federal isn't paying taxes, while the rest are. So how are we equal?
How are we equal?
You always say we're always equal.
We are equal.
Yeah, but
We
not when
tolerate
it comes to taxes, so that makes us,
It's not anything that you and I did, is it? It's the guys up there. We don't have any kind of say over
Well,
this,
how come-
whoa.
right?
Yeah.
Right? Okay.
We need to stop this. It's a discussion with the commissioners. You had a chance in public comment. So,
And you can hear now.
Deej, what are you seeing on this mental health stuff?
Well,
You're the
there's a
chairman.
lot of problems with it. There's a very detailed process that's supposed to happen, you know, for commitments and things like that. Almost never followed. And Sanford's a terrible abuser of that. The biggest problem that we see is, and when you put everybody into the mix, it's one thing to get non-natives into a commitment. It's another thing to get the natives into the commitment. And the reason for it is the transportation issue. The tribe has IHS that can do commitment process. They can do the same thing that Sanford Hospital does with that. They have a QMHP, a qualified medical professional there on staff that can review the cases and things like that. The problem is, if they're on the reservation, there's no one to transport them to a treatment facility. And the reason for that is BIA law enforcement won't transport those kind of cases. It has to be someone that has the authority to detain that person. So we're talking about a law enforcement officer. The way they're kind of skirting the issue to an extent is they're getting them down to chamber when they can. And this doesn't work probably maybe 25% of the time. They get them to Chamberlain, they get them evaluated, they go through this whole process, and then they call me. Or they call Wayne, and Wayne calls me. That's backwards. The first thing that's supposed to happen is someone that's familiar with that person's condition. It can be a relative, it can be a cop, it can be a nurse, it can be anybody, fills out a petition stating this person is in need of emergency mental health care. That would come to me. This is the way the statutes do it. Only then, if I review that petition, I say, okay, this person needs to get evaluated by a QMHP. That's the only time that there's any authority to hold that person. They can't hold them at the hospital. They can't just arrest them and take them there for mental health purposes. I mean, if they commit a crime and it's all part of that, yeah. But if it's just a commitment process, they have no authority to hold that person at all until I issue an order detaining that person for a mental health evaluation. And once I issue that order, then it's Wayne or the deputies. They then take charge of that person. They're to get them the qualified medical health professional's evaluation. If that person determines, yeah, they need to be committed, off they go. They find a spot for them and sheriff's office transport.
My question, you say that Sanford's not good. Is there a reason we don't look at Pier?
I've tried Pier. In fact, I'm going toward Pier now. And the reason why we have to go off board is because the IHS lost some kind of ability for, help me out, Steve, for blood testing or whatever it is. So now they don't do any of that kind of stuff. They have to go to Sanford.
Well, they were doing
They
they
were,
were
but-
doing QMHP, but then they
They
have
still
to
can,
send
but
them,
you have
before
to
they
have-
can send them to commitment.
We got
They have to send them down to the labs so that.
To be medically evaluated.
Yeah, and we can't do that at
But
IHS anymore.
what they're doing to us is this, they've already done everything. They've had their QMHP look at it, and then they want me to do all these orders and stuff afterwards. And we do. But then they've added another step in there, where they take that person after the QMHP says they're to be committed, I issue an order, they're to be committed. Then they take them in front of some telemed person that does another evaluation, which is not legal, but they're doing it. And then that person says, no, they're not a problem. And so out they go. I mean, here we've gone through all this time and effort, paperwork, and they just kick them loose.
They beat you home. They
Yeah.
beat you home.
And what happens is you get these people that are in and out. People,
They don't
by and
take
large,
their
aren't
meds.
crazy 100% of the time.
Yeah, they're
But
not their meds.
they seem to be loosened enough to talk to that telemed person. And that telemed person, who hasn't spent any time with that person at all, know anything about them other than what they're being told by the doctor there at that time. He makes his decision based on how they appear that moment right there in front of him through a TV. And that's not the way it's supposed to be done.
And how many a month let's say a year, 2025, how many Buffalo County, true Buffalo County residents have we
Maybe
done
on a real busy year, maybe about 10. But there's a much greater need than that in Buffalo County that's on the reservation.
But it's still Buffalo County.
Correct.
I mean,
I get that.
and anybody that wants to say it's not, it is.
So
But
one other thing that we did talk about when Sanford was there was about transportation. And I know Sheriff was part of that conversation too. But the dollar amounts for transportation would be covered by IHS. So it's not like it's coming out of Buffalo County. Okay, we're supporting our own here, but we need help to get through the system.
Right.
And Deech and I have had needless conversations on this shit, and so we need to group
So
together and
what
get
is
through
your
this.
suggestion, Dooch, to make this better or to work? I mean, that's where I came in with, why don't we go to Pier? Would they be better?
no, it's the same problem.
It is, but please remember, capillary counseling is who we put down as our mental health provider.
And capillary counseling's
He's
out
out
of
of
Pier.
And I would put him up there.
The problem is if you can't get them to Chamberlain, you can't get them to Pier. I mean, that's the problem. Because if they decide they're not gonna go, you can't force them to go.
Right.
Unless you're law enforcement, there's an order saying.
It's easier to take a minor than it is an adult.
I'm sure.
And,
Most of the time, they end up in Chamberlain by ambulance.
yeah, that's because, they have some other medical condition too that they try to get them there.
So
Whatever
is there an
they-
ambulance in Fort Thompson?
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't know that.
And that's their workaround to the system, but it's very, very inefficient. It doesn't address the immediate need most of the time.
So.
Ideal situation, there's two possible solutions that I can see.
Okay, please don't be visiting while we're trying to conduct a meeting.
The first possible solution is you guys and the tribe get together and work out some sort of a memorandum with the sheriff's office to basically allow for the transport of Native Americans off the reservation for mental health commitments by the sheriff's office. That's one solution. The other solution is the tribe puts on their payroll a couple of certified law enforcement officers. That takes some time, you gotta find people who will do it, and then it becomes the question of, okay, if we're gonna have 1 or 2 commitments a month, how do you afford to have 2 full-time law enforcement officers, with that authority? So, I mean, that's,
My question is, how close are those wildlife officers to law enforcement? Because I know they have the ability to stop you if you don't have your
they can't
license.
detain you, they can't arrest you. I mean, they can write you a ticket.
So you have to be able to arrest somebody, to take somebody to Sioux Falls, or you have to,
If you stop for gas and they get out of the car, you can't put them back in your car without that authority. Otherwise, it's kidnapping. So that's the
well,
problem.
the authority is after you've already given the order, right? So if they get out of the car, then they've escaped, then.
My authority goes to the sheriff of Buffalo County under the statute.
To escort to, and if they get out and run, there's nothing you can do.
Yeah, it says sheriff of Buffalo County or other qualified law enforcement officer will take that person into custody for a purpose of an evaluation.
Okay.
And then if the evaluation says, yeah, they need to be sent, then I issue another order granting them the authority to transport. That's how that whole process works.
And that has to be a law enforcement officer too, right?
I mean, we've run through this before where we've had people say, well, we could have these people transported, and you can't. But the problem is, once you're off that reservation, their authority ends. And then the liability for that person in the car, and if they decide to run, or if they just decide to open the door and bail out, that all falls on that individual then, because they don't have that authority.
That isn't in its right mind to begin with. That's where I see trying to protect that individual, because they don't have that ability to do that.
Right.
And I understand what you're going. That's why we need to work on this.
Good. All right. Thank you, Deech. I mean, I appreciate you explaining it in a way we could understand it a little better.
Mental Health Board, oversee the Mental Health Board for Buffalo County here.
I'm the chairman here.
Right.
Is
So,
there a term limit for you too? Is there a term limit for you too?
All of that.
No, I'm just asking because that, according to this, there's like 2 or 3 terms or something. And
Yeah.
I know you guys have been on there for 25 years.
Well, I haven't done no, but yeah, a lot of questions sometimes. But I think of rural county. They've had the same chairman probably for 40 years. I mean,
and I don't think you've ever really met as a board. As long as I've worked here, you have not really met as a
No.
board.
no, we're not. I mean, the board is far more important in a community that has a treatment facility, because then every so often they have to review that and meet as a board and make a determination if that person is going to stay there or if they need forced medications or any of those kind of things. The board can then meet and do that, but we don't do it once they're out of our jurisdiction. So, and we don't have any facility, of course, to put those people, so we've got to, rely on other counties. That's why you guys are getting bills from Yankton Board of Mental Health.
Right.
They meet and they,
And that's the legal part of it.
Yeah.
But Telephone versus White is the one that pays for it. And if we follow that principle, we don't get billed for it. Federal government does.
it should. I mean, that's
No.
the law.
But well, those are the cards we're dealt.
Okay. All right, thank you. State aid for salary of the veterans officer, it's just a form I've got to sign that we get some state aid for our,
Because we paid him over the 65.
yeah, Yep, because we paid him and we'll get some state aid for that.
15, is it 1,500 yet?
I think it went up a little bit. You guys got the forms.
Yeah, you got the forms.
So,
And, let's see. Also the, form for the cybersecurity with, DSU at Madison. So, and I've got to sign that, and we got that also. And, also the information on 4-H through South Dakota State University. Those are just kind of some information deals that you got in your email.
Could you explain what that cybersecurity is?
They come in, they basically check all of our computers and make sure that we're not getting spam or somebody in to target or take stuff out of it illegally. So,
they'd like to come and discuss it with everybody too before.
yeah.
So.
And they'll come and, like Deb said, they highly recommended it at our state meetings because otherwise people can get into these computers and
I think
do a lot of damage.
I think the big push though is because of the upcoming election.
Yeah.
So that's where we need that.
Buffalo, Han County
The matrix.
matrix.
Do you want to talk about your matrix?
What do you wanna know?
I sent it to, it's on our website, so anybody that wants to look at it can look at it.
It's a quarterly report that you get that just
Yeah.
says that, everything that I'm supposed to be doing, I'm doing.
Yeah.
If it has a no or anything like that, the state will contact you as a board and address it.
I didn't think you had any no's. I looked.
Nope.
Nope. He'd fulfilled everything, so.
Yeah, so,
I didn't realize it was so extensive, so wow.
yeah,
Good
there's
for you.
a laundry list of things that I have to do every year.
I had no
Your
idea.
guys' LEOP, which I got done, it took me 2 years now to get that finished. The good thing about that, LEOP is the local emergency operation plan. Every county is required to have one by law. You guys had one that was through Brule County, I'm sure it's tied in with theirs. Now you have a standalone, so. In years to come, if you decide to go with a different EM, or if there is a different EM or whatever, you'll have one that is specifically for Buffalo County. You don't have to worry about it being shared with anybody else.
So we had one with Brew County?
Had to. I haven't seen it,
Well,
but
I was gonna say, I don't remember that. I know we had a standalone one when Catherine Benton was here. Catherine Benton was the last one I remember. I did that.
I have a copy of that.
And we went with Brew County with that?
I haven't seen
I
it.
think
I
it says
asked
that
for it
in
and
there.
found it, so.
I don't remember.
Either way, it was not produced to me, so I built a new one. It's taken me quite a while to get done.
We didn't have a happy camper there. So.
Now it is done, and so it'll be, that is not a public document. The hazmat is something that you can come to the.
Isn't that kind of when we have community impact groups and we're supposed to have community meetings and.
For the LEOP? No. PDM, yes, but not the,
So who does that?
who does LEOP? Emergency managers do, and then they go to the state.
With who, with what information?
Information that I gather from fire departments, law enforcement.
To include the tribe in there?
Tribe has their own.
I hear you, but did you include the tribe in there?
They are in there for what they need to be in there, yes.
Because I don't like going to the reservation line and stopping right there. I think we need to work together more.
Yeah, I gather that, but where they need to be in there, they're in there, and where we're in there is where we need to be, so.
And Tommy's aware of this.
Should be.
Should we, did you notify him? I'm asking.
I've talked to,
You only talk to him. I get your hand Buffalo meetings like 2 hours before you call them or whatever. I mean, so are those also our requirements for Buffalo or is that for hand?
that's a whole different thing,
I'm just asking.
and that is, I visited, that is, the tribe probably has their own.
Here again, you're
Like,
separating us out again. I don't like that.
I don't know
We
what to
ought
tell
to
you.
think of a different emergency manager instead of dividing
Well,
us like we did
that's
together.
completely up to you, the
And
contract
that was the
ends
10,000
next
I
year.
was questioning when we paid him.
If you would like to do that, you sure can.
We'll discuss it.
I have a question though. did you get that bill that I sent you for that 3,000?
Yeah.
I feel like we already did that, didn't we? Or is it ready for another one?
Every year. So whatever. the
I thought it was
anniversary date is.
1,000, 1,001. So I'd have to look at that contract again. What we're talking about is we got a bill for rave
Oh,
we
for
thought we did it, and
$3,000.
They weren't
So,
gonna use it, remember?
and
they
I
ended
just
up
got
using
another
it.
one. So that's how come I sent it to you, because I thought,
Yeah,
should we
I-
pay it or not pay it? So
You'll
that's,
have to look into what you paid and what you haven't paid. I don't know. That is something that falls in your lap, I guess.
But did
$3,000
Canton County
a
go
year
with
for
Ray?
raises.
it's a year, so 12.
no, they didn't because they could stay with theirs.
So, okay.
How about the fire department phone thing? Where's that at?
Well, we just talked about that.
Where you been?
I don't know, I was thinking about something else, I guess.
We talked
Well,
about.
Wes just talked about it.
Holy buckets, this guy, get him some coffee.
I was on the phone, was I on the phone about that?
If you're talking about the I am responding, which will replace the phone,
Yeah.
that contract has been signed as of today, and we'll go live with it on the 15th of December.
Okay, God, I hate to take up you guys' time.
No, Wes just,
Keep up, keep
I
up.
don't think I was in there.
All right.
yeah,
No, you might not have been, you were.
Let's move on.
I was thinking about other problems.
okay, Wes, highway superintendent.
Here's your bid.
One fuel bid, total oil, I'd assume, yeah. 265 unleaded, 242 ethanol, number 1 305, number 2 278.
Okay, I need
Vote
it.
to approve it.
I'll second that acceptance.
All in favor?
Uh,
Thank you. Okay, Wes?
Both projects are done, so that's good news. We'll see if the grass takes next spring. We've got everything set up for winter. I went out Saturday and Sunday and plowed. I think we're ahead of it, so very minimal maintenance that's coming up unless something breaks. We do have a deal with John Deere. They had made us aware they will not be renting tractors anymore. So the option would be lease one or buy one. And I got lease prices from John Deere, Case, Titan, and Butler. Since we deal with them, they sold Massey Ferguson's. Apples to apples, horsepower, size options. The Case actually comes with a loader and would be cheaper than the Massey by about $8,000 without a loader, and about $2,000 less than the John Deere. And it comes with 5 years of warranty if we wanted to lease one.
And that's from the Case?
Yeah.
You said, so what is that then per year?
Around 17.
Around 17.
The John Deere was 19.3 without a loader, and then the Massey Ferguson, the first year was 24, the next 2 years were 29.
Cool.
Yeah.
For 1 year leases or
3
2-year leases, you said?
They prefer a 5. It does help it a little bit.
Mhm.
And that, but the Case would be the only one that offers a warranty that whole 5.
And they have the loader?
Yep.
On that, that's included that with
Yep.
that?
For it's like 17.5, 15.48.
Okay, my next question is, because we've done the leases, is there a hour maximum per year?
300.
300, okay.
And
We've
then-
never gone below that. I don't remember.
And if we had this, if we leased it year round, we would use it.
Right.
Because we use it on a retriever. It'd be really nice, but the little tractor is too little for it. It's pretty light for it.
Do you remember what we were paying for John Deere?
On the rental,
Yeah.
I never seen this year's contract. It was sent right to you, so I don't.
Yeah, I'd have to pull it up.
I
because
mean,
we just signed
But
think
it's
it's pretty- I
hourly.
think it's pretty comparable. to what we
It was
paid.
hourly.
And we.
I think we were only allotted 250 hours and then it went up.
Yeah. And we pushed up at like 215, so we didn't go, we stayed under, but we wouldn't have wanted to use it for anything else.
Right.
And that was actually that 19.3 on the John Deere was bringing that same tractor back. The one that we just signed up there, which reminds me, we can take that off of insurance. So that'll
Remind
save
me
us.
later, would you?
And the Massey Ferguson was at 24,059. Now John Deere and Massey, no loaders. We could add them.
Right. But we could get it on the Case
Yeah.
for less money than either one of them.
Yeah, I think that's a heck of a deal compared, I mean, you get it cheaper and a loader. John Deere did have a 3-year-old tractor with a loader they would do, and it was a little bit less. 15.5, but it has no warranty on it right now, so you got to buy a warranty for it during the term, which is like $2,600. So over 3 years, $850, $900 more. And it has 460 hours on it already. So, nothing you have to do today, but they did say Case's tractor is one that they have. Same with John Deere is one with the loader they have. And their prices are going to be reevaluated and put up after January 1.
So it would be best if we,
wanted to save,
Would this come out of next year's budget though, if we approve it?
it would be nice. And I think they work with us on it.
The only reason I'm asking is, do we have enough in there? I mean, I know there's money in there, but
well, it would be out of next year's budget because we wouldn't get it.
We get it when we said deliver.
Oh,
'Cause
okay.
They have it in Mitchell, and the one John Deere that we just sent back to Miller, and then the 2 or 3-year-old one, I think they said is in Mitchell as well. I'm not sure where Massey first, I think they'd have to get it in.
Financial wise, it's gonna be, same as what, almost like what it was for
For the
your
rental?
lease last time.
Right.
So it sounds to me like it's about tit for tat on those. It's such that you're not gonna do it for 6 months or however much that one was. Was it, was that a
We
whole
get it year
year?
round.
A year round. So it sounds to me like it's just the same thing.
So
You're
this
just
tractor would stay here for 5 years.
5 years.
5 years, that's the only, yeah.
Mhm.
I think that's,
And then you'd
So-
have the option to buy it at the end, or if your equity is on the right side, trade it in or walk away, whatever you want to do and start over.
but I think it sounds like he's already got the 3 bids. He already knows of the 3
Right.
bids.
and
So I
just-
think that you're okay to go with the bid that you're,
We could do this, right?
Yep.
If you wanted to do the cheaper one that they have, since it's there, I'd like to tell them probably gonna do that so we could lock it in.
You're talking about the case?
Yeah, that would be my
And that's what I'm
suggestion.
saying too, maybe we could lock it in and maybe we can't pay for it until next year, you know what I'm saying?
And I think you'd be fine. We said, we'll start this January, because we're only 3 weeks away.
And you've got your 3 bids, so.
And I mean, the John Deere's fine too. I don't see any reason to pay that much more for a Massey Ferguson without a loader though. I really thought it'd be a lot more competitive. Because he wanted to get one out here to have farmers see it, you know?
So the case is red, right?
so we'll consider that one other under here, just
Yep.
so that when the auditor wants to go through these, we've gone through our agenda. 'Cause that's what I get tagged on. So we're using other on this one, and you're gonna make the bid for,
So I'll make the motion that we lock in with the case.
5 years.
Yeah.
An email.
CASE, right?
Yes.
See, we're going
For
red
Titan.
instead of.
And you're
green.
gonna go with the 3-year or 5-year?
Let's go 5 year.
I think 5 would be fine since it comes with the warranty.
Well, that's what I'm saying too, because who knows, 3 years.
We've done that for the last, I don't know how many years. And the last one, we ended up buying it outright because that lease went from 14,000 a year to 28,000 a year. So
So the
I
hard number
think
on
they're
the
being more
case
than fair.
would be 17.4. And that's 5-year lease, 2,000 hours bumper to bumper coverage, 5-year powertrain included for the full term of the lease
That's from Titan.
with the loader.
Mhm.
And that's a MX or a Maxim 150.
Do they do the maintenance on it, or do you do the maintenance?
The regular service we would do, and the repairs would be them. And then, like you said, the John Deere without the loader, the one we had here would be 19.3. And the Massey Ferguson would start at 24,059. And the next, they just want to do a 3-year. I guess they do have a 5-year option, but it's still higher. If you want the numbers, I can give them to you if you want to record them. But the case was the cheapest one.
So there's a motion out there right now for case 5 years. Danita made the motion.
Rex seconded.
Which dealership?
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passed.
Okay,
Otherwise, unless you have questions for me, I have about a request for 5 to 10 minute executive session regarding the legal issue. Hopefully, or not. I got-
Move to go into executive.
Danita moves to go into executive session for 2:40.
in regards to what?
Legal issue.
Like I was saying, there is hot, the county is smaller than the city.
Dave.
So like, people would think we're helping.
Okay, we're gonna come out of executive session at 3:00.
Randy has a real quick question too.
I was trying to ask you if you would be interested in responding in writing.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody. See you the 23rd.